Alright, so first I would like to start off with fairness awareness. Is it fair that my dog can be shot or put down if it nips someone and draws blood? People have the option to beat someone half to death, go to jail, get out, beat someone half to death, go to jail and get out, beat someone half to death, go to jail and get out. Doesn't make any sense to put my dog down for that. Now, the human psyche is supposed to conceive all ideas and thoughts, and has so much of an imagination it can come up with all these things that it does. So tell me why a dog that only does what's natural is held to a lot higher standards in its life and its short life than, let's say, I don't know, people. So if we're supposed to be so much more civilized and so much more, I guess, outstanding when it comes to our intellect, why aren't we held to higher standards? So is that fair? Let's talk about immigrants coming into the country. If you can't pick where you live, where you're born to live, that is, how then can you tell someone just because of where they're born they're not allowed in your country? You can't own the land, not literally, because in essence the land only is as big as it is because it is as far away from the center of the planet as it is. So you really only own an infinitesimally small part of something that is much, much bigger. Why don't we bring immigrants over into the United States and have them work in water companies and electric companies for free for their citizenship? They can bring their wives, and their wives can work in any place they choose. If overcrowding happens, we can then take those people and fly them to other countries and provide those small villages that have to walk miles and miles for water. Imagine walking 10 miles every day for water. What if you didn't have to walk? What if there was a pipe that took it straight to you, or brought it straight to you? Wouldn't that be a lot nicer? Wouldn't it be a lot easier? That's only if overcrowding occurs. A lot of people are trying to get away because they are political refugees as well as refugees because things such as, not to give them a bad name, the cartel, if you were to, I don't know, fuck up, then you should then afterwards, your family might have to pay the price as well as you. So not picking to be born in a place like that, and that happening, how are we so civilized as people to call ourselves a civilization, to let people amass millions and billions of dollars? And for what? So that way children in other countries have to walk miles and miles for water, and that's only if they don't drop it. And so everyone's life then depends on if the water makes it back and if it's clean. How many people in the world still catch things like the common cold and it kills them? Let's get down to the fairness awareness of things on the psychology of all things. Now, gateway drugs. Let's look at that for a moment. The gateway drug would be something that lowers your inhibitions and makes you feel bulletproof. And let's throw in a little mouthy. Oh, that comes with bulletproof. So let's see what else. And it would have to be sold more than any drug everywhere. Basically, you'd have to be able to make it at home with 2 or 3 ingredients. Oh, alcohol. Alright, so let's take alcohol into precedence now. Alright, so you have alcohol that lowers your inhibitions. Okay, so if you're against marijuana, explain this to me. Just for instance, how many marijuana overdoses have there happened to date? Not incidents where it sets a precedence for something negative to happen under the influence, because under the influence of sobriety you could find yourself in very sticky situations and dead. Tell me then, how many people have died from marijuana overdose? Okay, and then from there, tell me how many people have died from alcohol overdose. It's not alcohol poisoning, because alcohol is poison. It's like, it comes with a name, so let's not bullshit it. Let's call it what it is. It's alcohol overdose. And technically, it's a mind-altering substance. It's a chemical, because when you distill alcohol in the harsher forms, the higher alcoholic numbers, purity, first thing that comes off is acetone. It's deadly. Then it's the alcohol, and then it's something else. But who really cares about the tails, you know? Unless you distill alcohol. Okay, so if you then go to the corners of all these streets where these places are, these stores and things like that, tell me then, what signs do you see outside? Are they perhaps for nicotine and alcohol? Now, did you know that most of the money that cigarette companies make comes from low-income communities? Technically, at this rate, if I could be in charge of it, I would do it for free. Because if you're against marijuana, I've never seen anyone do marijuana and say, you know what, I think doing that cocaine sounds like a wonderful idea. No, they've already found their way into your pantry or something, and everyone makes a joke about it, except it's true. Like saying, oh, don't drink and drive, you'll kill someone. Huck, 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 huck. That's not funny, because it could really happen that easily. Now, every person that goes to a bar and drinks, and there's a vehicle parked outside and they walk inside, someone's driving that vehicle, do you think someone sits there for 6 hours and didn't drink a drop, or only drank what they were allowed to by law, and then breathalyzed themselves on the way out the door, and then finally then knew whether or not they were legally sober enough to drive? I know people sober who can't drive. Not very well, that is. So let's get back to the fairness awareness part of it. Is it fair that a dog that does what's natural can bite someone? Just think of how small that is. Not a vicious attack by a dog. Well, let's see. Let somebody beat your ass half to death, kick your face in, knock all your teeth out, break your damn arm, break your leg. Maybe even do worse, because if a chihuahua bites you, it is subject to the same treatment as if it were, I don't know, a shaggy dog, like a snow dog, like a hot Siberian husky. Or what if it's a puppy or something? It's still the same. Laws tend to remain the same along those lines, because nobody wants a vicious animal running around here. Now, vicious animals, okay, let's call it what it is. Don't bullshitter. Let's call it what it is. Vicious animals. Let's see, we're civilized. We call ourselves civilization, and from the ground we rise up these great cities, except there's still children walking miles and miles for water. Are you thirsty enough to do that? When's the last time you were thirsty and had to walk, I don't know, not to the kitchen sink to get something to drink? Now, if you do know what that's like, I wish we would let immigrants into the United States and then have them work in water companies, solar panel production companies, and solar panel installation companies, and water companies and electric companies. That way, earning their citizenship, they can bring their wives over and they can be basically granted automatic citizenship as long as they agree to the terms that just help us out a little bit so we can help the world out a little bit. And if overcrowding does occur, we can send them to go help someone somewhere else to make everything a giant oasis. Wouldn't that be really nice? End up in an oasis and you didn't really have to try. You just let people live their lives, because nobody wants to die for something someone else did. This is episode 1 of Fairness Awareness. I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but the signs stand as is.